Good morning. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. Today we have our full body workout. I'm still wearing my cardigan. It's very cold this morning, so I'm just going to stay cozy and a little bit wrapped up for the first couple of exercises or the first bit of the warm up, and then I will probably lose it shortly. So we're just going to start off in a kneeling or a cross-leg position. Let's get nice and tall, so stack the vertebrae one on top of the other. You can also be standing for this if this feels more comfortable for you. If you are standing, I'd like you to be hip distance apart with your feet parallel. Cross-leg kneeling, that's fine as well. So we're just gonna lift our arms up, reaching through those fingertips, lengthening the fingers up toward the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale, I'm just going to sweep one arm back. And if you're seated, you can tap the floor with your hands. Otherwise, you can just reach back behind you. And then take it to the other side. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tap. And as you tap down or reach back behind you, I want you to look out over your shoulder, stretching through your neck. At the same time, it feels really good. So you're getting a little bit of a spinal rotation in and you're stretching the whole side of the neck. Nice work. Reach and lower on the rotation. Really lengthen through those fingertips. And try to keep those hips facing forward the entire time. Good. This is just an upper body rotation. Last one. And lower down. I'm already ready to take my cardigan off. So all it took was a little bit of movement to warm up. I'm going to carry on lifting up through those fingertips. And this time we're going to bring both arms back together like so. And as we do so, we're just going to gently bend the back and look up. So we're inhaling and exhaling. So we're bringing the spine into neutral, bringing the hands up. And as we exhale, we're shooting the arms back behind. If you're seated, you can tap the mat with your fingertips. And if you're stood, you can reach out behind you. Inhale and exhale. Good, really open through the chest as you pull those arms back. We've got 5. Stretching through the neck. Moving on that breath. And last one. Reach back and bring your hands by your sides or on your knees. Now we're going to turn and face forward on our mat. And we're going to lower down for bridge. So I'd like you to sit up nice and tall to begin with. Reach and stretch through the spine. And then slowly start to tuck your tailbone and curve your spine back. Switching on your abdominals. Use your hands to help you lower down with control, one vertebra at a time. Make sure you've got space behind you because you're going to be stretching out your arms. We're going to position our heels so they're below our knees. Legs are hip distance apart. Now from here, we're tilting the pelvis back, pressing the low back into the mat and peeling the spine up so that you're up on your shoulders, holding in bridge. So make sure that you're not overarching your low back. From here, we're going to bring the arms overhead. Reach those fingertips as far away from yourself as you can. Keep reaching back as you slowly lower your upper back down, lower your middle back down, pull your abs in so that you can lower each part of your lower back down, touch your tailbone down to the mat. Nicely done. Bring your arms by your side. Let's repeat that. Inhale and exhale, tilt the pelvis back, lift the hips into bridge. Stretch the arms back behind you. Reach to those fingertips. Keep reaching through those fingertips as you lower down. Feel the stretch running down your spine as you reach away and lower one vertebra down to the mat. Good. And lift and reach. Keep reaching, stretching through your spine as you imprint each part of your back back down on the mat. Good. We'll take 2 more of those. Lift, stretch back and reach, and slowly ripple down 1 vertebra at a time, enjoying the stretch on your way down. Last one, lift those hips, lengthen back through those fingers, stretch those arms, and roll it down slowly and with control. Amazing work. Now we're going to come up into bridge. We're going to lift and make sure we're in a nice stable bridge position so the backs of our arms are pressing down into the mat. I want you to ensure that your feet are parallel and your heels are below your knees here. Now from here, we're going to lift the heels. So just the balls of the feet are on the mat, and then lower the heels. Repeat, lift the heels and lower. Lift and lower. Gently firing up those calves here, keeping the hips even and elevated as we lift and lower slowly and with control. So we're not just letting those heels kind of flop back down to the mat. We're slowly lowering, keeping those calf muscles working the entire time. Good. We've got 4, 3. Nice work. Back body is really awake now. And 2. And last 1. Lift and lower, and slowly lower down to the mat. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Breathe in through the nose. Hug them in a little closer and out through the mouth. Nicely done. Now we're going to lower the feet down to the floor, and we're going to position the heels again so they're below the knees, but this time we're going to bring the feet together so that the insides of the feet are touching. We're now going to lift up with the legs together in bridge, lower, widen the knees. Lift up, bring the knees together, lower, just hover the bum off the floor, widening those knees. Lift up, squeeze legs together, lower, and widen the knees. So move between those 2 positions, widening the knees as you lower the bum and closing the knees as you lift. Now, if you're finding it really uncomfortable with your feet this close together, simply move them slightly apart. So you can move them apart a couple of inches. Good. Inhale and exhale. Lower and squeeze those inner thighs to lift. Lower and lift. Nice work. Lower and lift. Feeling the fire in those thighs. Pushing up through the heels. Feet stay flat on the floor. Good work. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and final 1. Lift it up and lower it down. Amazing. From here, we're going to stretch the legs out long and roll over onto our sides. So from your side lying position, you want to be supporting your head in your hand or on your outstretched arm. From here, we're lengthening the legs, stacking the hips, stacking the knees, and stacking the feet. We're going to pick the legs up together and then bring them forward on the mat so we're in a gentle pike. From here, we're going to lift that top leg up and bring it slightly forward in front of the body. Now we're going to lower that top leg, drawing a U shape in the air, and bring it up high on the opposite side. So we're lowering, drawing a U in the air, and lifting. Lowering, drawing that U in the air. Good, as we move from side to side. So keep it slow, keep it controlled. Use your big toe like a pencil in the air, drawing a large U shape. Good. Now, if you're losing stability here, you can bend that lower leg. That sometimes helps. Make sure that you're plugging your belly in towards your spine. That will also help with your stability here. And you're really pointing hard through the toe of that extended leg, through the toes of that extended leg, making sure that all the muscles are switched on. As you draw that slow, smooth arc. Or no, the opposite of an arc, a U shape in the air. Great. Lifting up and lowering down, swooping from side to side. Ooh, I can really feel it in those glutes already. Thighs are working here. We've got 2. And last 1. Hold the leg back. Now we're going to start drawing some big circles. So we're drawing that U, but then we're carrying on and lifting all the way up and over, drawing a really big, smooth circle in the air. Now, if you can't get your circles quite as large, that's fine. Just really focus on stability here and hip mobility. So really moving that leg bone around in the hip socket, flexing those thighs and switching on those glutes throughout the range of movement. Lengthen through the neck. Make sure your shoulders aren't up by your ears. Good. And hold down at the bottom. Now we're going to reverse direction with those circles. Good. Lift up and over, drawing a nice big circle in the air. Again, using your big toe like a paintbrush in the air. Good. 3 more like this. 1 and 2. Side booty's working here. And 3. Lower down. Amazing work. Now, we're going to work the inner thigh of the lower leg. So we're going to make a bridge either in front or behind the leg. Just move that top leg out of the way so you've got space for your lower leg to move. I'd like you to lift that lower leg up, and we're going to do the same movement with that U shape. So we're lifting up and under, lowering and lifting. Now it can take a moment to feel coordinated in this. Again, you can make a smaller U shape if that is what you have the strength to be able to do. So just work within your own range of mobility. Good. Pointing through the toe, leading up with the inner thigh as you draw that U. I feel like this lower U is not as smooth as the upper U. That's okay. Just lifting, lowering, and then lifting to the opposite side. Keeping the tension on that inner thigh. We've got 3 and 2. And final 1, bring it back. Now we're going to draw circles, circling forwards. 3, 4, and 5. Ooh, these burn. Reverse for 5, 4, 3. Work those inner thighs. 2, and 1, relax it down. Nice work. Now use your hands to help you to come up and move over onto your opposite side. So, getting down on your side body, stretching out nice and long, lengthening through that neck. Pick the feet up and hinge forward with those legs. Now we're going to lengthen and lift that top leg, swoop under, drawing that U. Swoop forward and backward, carving that U out in the air with the big toe. And again, bending that lower leg if you need additional stability. We want our torso to be nice and still and stable, core switched on, so that we can isolate this work in the lower body. Good. This is our time to work our thighs, sculpt our glutes. So really make the movement count. Point hard through that big toe. Lift up nice and high, lower and swoop back with that leg. Good work. Can see some people in the comments. Hello, nice to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's tough to have an early workout like this, but it feels so good after, and it's such a great way to start the day. Good, keep moving. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. So now we're drawing that circle in the air. So continuing that U shape, bringing it up and over. Really mobilizing the hip here. Good work. Lengthening out through that big toe as we circle all the way around. Keep that neck nice and long and relaxed. Keep those shoulders down. Good. For 2. And for 1. Nice work. Let's reverse. Directions here. Good. Lengthen and rotate. Ooh, my glutes are really working hard here. I hope you can feel it as well. We've got 4, nearly there. For 3, plug belly to spine. And 2, and final 1, lower down. Nice work. Now let's make the bridge with that top leg, moving it out of the way, lengthening through the toe. Inner thigh is facing up toward the ceiling as we draw those U's. Moving from side to side, squeezing that inner thigh as we lift and lower. We're keeping those muscles engaged. Firing up those inner thighs. Good. Keep breathing through it. I know this is tough, but we only have a couple exercises left in this position. Good. We've got 3 and 2 and final 1. Now we're circling forwards. 3, 4, and 5. Reverse for 5, 4, 3. Lift that leg as high as you can. 2, and 1. Nice work. Let's roll over onto our backs, and we're just going to stretch out the glutes and the hips here. So I'm going to cross the leg that I worked first over the other. So you do the same. For me, it was my right leg. And then I'm going to hug my left knee in toward my chest, stretching the right glutes. Breathing deeply here. For 3, and 2, and 1. Release. And switch your legs. Left over right for me, whatever your second working leg was. You want to stretch it out. Breathing deeply here. For 3, and 2, and 1. Nice work. Now from here, we're going right into our ab work. So we're going to interlace our fingers behind our head. Elbows are nice and wide. We're going to inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, we're bringing right knee in toward the chest, and then left knee in toward the chest. Inhale to lower, exhale, bringing your forehead up towards your knees. So your head rests heavy in your hands here. We're not pulling the head up. We're flattening that abdominal wall as we lift into the crunch. Good. Breathe out to lift. Pressing low back into the mat as we peel up, lifting those shoulder blades. Good. We've got 5 and 4. Last 3. Really draw your abdominal wall down to the floor. And last 1. Nicely done. Now from here, we're going to go into our bent leg stretch. So we're going to bring the left knee in toward the chest. We're going to stretch the right leg out long. I'm going to take my left hand just under the knee and my right hand just above the ankle. You can keep your head, neck, and shoulders down on the mat or peel into a crunch with your head rested on top of your shoulders. We're going to switch, hugging the opposite knee in toward the chest, and switch. Inhale and exhale to hug the knee in. Good. Now, as you hug that knee in toward the chest, I want you to really focus on drawing your belly button down toward your spine, contracting the core as you bring the knee in, and really stretch that knee in. Enjoy the stretch at the same time as working your core. And make sure that the leg that's extended is perfectly straight and you're pointing through the toes. Good. We've got 5 and 4. Nice work. For 3 and 2 and final 1. We're going to keep one leg hugged in toward the chest. And then we're going to lift the extended leg and lower. Good. Lift and lower. Again, head, neck, and shoulders can be up. If you have the strength to maintain that core engagement with the lifting and lowering of the leg. Good. Holding it here. We've got 3. Nice work. 2. Lengthen through the toes. And last 1. Bring the knee in. Relax head, neck, and shoulders down for a moment and switch the legs. Lift up into your crunch or keep head, neck, and shoulders down on the mat as you lower and lift. Lower and lift. Abs are working here. Use your lower abs to lift the leg back up on the exhale. We've got 4, 3, lift it up. For 2, abs in. Last 1, and bring both knees in toward the chest. Now from here, we're going to go into a arm and leg extension. So you have the option of keeping head, neck, and shoulders down like so as we widen the legs, widen the arms, and then bring them back in, squeezing legs together. So inhale, extend, exhale, belly to spine to pull the limbs back in. Now, you're doing a V shape with those legs, pointing through the toes. And if you're feeling good here, you're lifting up into a crunch position, head resting on top of your shoulders as you extend and bring it in. Inhale, belly to spine to bring the legs back in. Inhale and exhale, hug everything in. Really tighten the core, pull everything tight as you pull the limbs in. Good. We've got 4 and 3. Reach and stretch and then hug it in tight. 2. Last 1. Amazing work. Lower your feet down to the floor. Take your hands behind your head. We're going to go into our crisscross. You have the option of moving from this position, keeping your feet on the floor, and then lifting, alternating knee in toward the chest as you cross over, or the full version with one leg extended and crossing over like so. So starting from either position, let's go. Crossing over and crossing over, bringing opposite elbow toward the knee, keeping the chest nice and open and keeping that low back connected with the mat. We've got 3 more like this. 2 and 1. Now cross over, and we're going to hold here. Lower the leg and lift. Holding in that crossed position as you move into those leg lifts again. Good. This time working into those obliques. Keep reaching that elbow toward that knee. And last one, bring both knees in, relax it down. And now we're going to do 5 more crisscrosses. And then leg lifts on the opposite side. 3, 4, and 5. Hold it there, lifting and lowering. Keep reaching that elbow toward that knee. Working into the waistline, working those abs. And 2 more. And last one. And bring both knees in toward the chest. Amazing work. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 3 and 2 and 1. Nicely done. Now use your hands to help you to come into a all fours position. We're going to crawl to the top of the mat. Position the wrists so they're below the shoulders, fingers are spread, and the knees are below the hips. We're going to curl the toes here, and we're going to move into a shin lift position. So make sure you're nice and broad across those shoulders. Rather than being collapsed here, we want to be pushing the mat away. Gentle bend in the elbows. We're going to inhale to prepare, and exhale, hover the knees above the floor. So you want your shins to be parallel with the mat. That's what makes it challenging. Lift your abdominal wall, power up through those shoulders and arms, holding for 3, for 2, and for 1. Now push the hips up toward the ceiling, coming into down dog. We're going to hold here. Inhale and exhale. Come forward back into the shin lift position. Roll back into your downward dog and forward into shin lift position, keeping those knees floating above the mat as you move between the 2 positions. Good. Make sure as you come down, you're positioning your shoulders above your wrists. Good. And really lifting that abdominal wall in that shin lift, and then scooping those abs in as you lift the hips toward the ceiling. Good work. Moving between the 2. Stretching those calves as you lower the heels down towards the mat for your down dog. Good. We've got 3 and 2. Nice work. And final 1. Lift it up, stretch and lengthen, elevate that tailbone up toward the ceiling, and then lower knees down to the mat. Nicely done. Now, reposition those wrists so they're below the shoulders, curl the toes. We're going to come up again into our shin lift position, and we're going to add some knee taps. So we're going to go for a total of 10. Nice and broad across those shoulders. Let's hover the knees up off the floor. Widen the knees and then tap the knees together. Good. Widen the knees, tap them together. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lift your abdominal wall, and 1. Bring your legs to parallel, lower your knees, bring your feet forward on the mat. Final challenge. We have 10 tricep dips. So we're going to turn the fingers so they're toward the heels, elbows pulled back behind, elevate into your reverse tabletop. Get nice and strong here, lift through the chest. We're gonna lower and push up through the heels of the hands. Lower and push up. We've got 8. Keep those elbows pulled back behind you. For 7, push up through the heels of the hands. And 6, good. For 5, working those triceps. 4, last 3, and 2, and give it a lot of power. Push up for 1, stretch the legs out long, lower the bum, reach the arms overhead, and fold over your lower body for a nice back body stretch to finish off. Drop the crown of your head, pull yourself a little more deeply into the stretch. For 3, and 2, and 1. Lift yourself up. Come into a cross-leg position. Just reading the comments. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. Let's lift those shoulders and roll them down and back. Lift them up. Amazing work today. I hope you enjoyed this routine. Good. Let's take one more and melt those shoulders down and back. Great job today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I really look forward to moving again with you next time. So bye for now. See you next time.